Hi, everyone, and welcome to Soul Talk with Sonia. And we are talking from The Weight is Killing My Flesh. You may be in a waiting room right now. You may have just come out of a wait. And if you just came out of wait, you survived. You made it. And I know you have glory all over your face because you made it. Your whole countenance is glorious because you made it. And guess what? God gave you grace for that wait. So, one of the things God does when we're in the waiting room is He humbles us. Humility. Humility is, my definition of humility is a going down. It's God, I can't do this without you. God, I cannot live this Christian life without you. It's this need. It's is servanthood because as human beings, we can get so full of ourselves. You know, God is such a loving God. He wants the best for us and He wants to give us the desires of our heart. So, what happens sometimes with us as human beings, God blesses us. We have a great job and good income. You know, we're working virtually now. Some people like it, some people don't. We have a nice car, nice home, go on vacation. And if God didn't put us in a waiting room, we wouldn't serve Him like we need to. And that's just facts. Because I said in here, we are too selfish to have all that we need and still serve God. We just selfish as human beings. You have everything you need, everything God asks. You ask God for, and He gives it to you. Our worship isn't wouldn't even be the same. Our praise won't be the same because we have everything we need. That's why God can't give us everything that we need and want because we wouldn't serve Him because we're too selfish by our nature. So He uses humility when we're in the waiting room. Now, I talked about in the previous video a formula. And this formula God gave me as I was in my last wait. The formula is waiting plus being stripped plus the lessons equals new assignment. So, waiting, you're in a waiting room. This is not an ordinary wait. I've been waiting on something, you say to yourself, weeks, months, years. You're in a waiting room. And then He strips you of everything that He's not pleased with. It could be vainness, cocky, arrogance. And the opposite of that is humility. And it could be you're unaware, you know, may not know that this is vainness, but it is. When I was in not my last wait, but the long wait before that, I was stripped. No job. I had a business closed, no car, no money, but I had a mortgage and bills. So I remember a family member had gone out of town and I had their car and I was in the store just walking around because I had no money. And there were hangers like everywhere. Everywhere I went, there was a hanger. And God would say, pick up the hanger. I'm thinking, why I pick up the hanger? I was like, okay, I'll pick up the hanger. I'll go to another store. God says, pick up the hanger. And I'm thinking, why are there so many hangers on the floor? I would have to pick these up. They weren't on the floor. And I heard the Holy Spirit say, I'm humbling you. So as I'm picking up the hangers, I'm going down. And He's humbling me. And He's making sure that I don't forget everything He's brought me through, everything that He's done for me. And it's a remembrance of without me, you can't do nothing. Without me, I am nothing. So yesterday I was in the store and I saw a hanger and I had a choice pick it up or not pick it up. So I picked it up and I was reminded of my last major 2 weeks ago and how God humbled me. And He wants us to stay in a place of humility always. Don't ever come out of humility because that job, that car, that house, that money, your health, whatever, can be stripped, can be removed immediately. Remember Job? So we don't want to ever get so high of ourselves that we think we're all that. So I want to caution you because what God is trying to do is get you to be like Him. He wants us to be in His image, to look like Him. God is not asking you to be perfect. People think, oh, I have to be perfect for God. I'm not ready to come to Christ. I'm not ready to get saved. God is not asking for perfection. He made us. He know we're crazy. He know we can do crazy stuff, say crazy stuff. He know that. So He's not looking for perfection. He's looking for a willing vessel to really try to live the Christian life for real, and not fake it. If you're struggling with a sin, go to God about it. Don't pretend like it doesn't exist. That's what He doesn't want. He wants you to, one, hate the sin, two, come to Him so that He can help you conquer the sin. Okay? I don't say my sin because I'm not going to attach it to my identity. It's the sin. I'm not going to claim it. Okay? You want to claim deliverance, not that it's your sin, your anxiety, your depression. No, it's the anxiety, the depression. I'm not wearing a scarlet letter right here promoting it when God is a God of deliverance. Okay, so humility, humbling yourselves, making sure in humility you treat people right. Don't say you're a Christian and you mistreat people. Please don't do that because that gives us a bad rap. We are to be the light. So, humility. Don't talk about people. Don't gossip. That's the issue. You need to work on that. Don't talk about how somebody looks. Oh, she thinks she all that. She didn't have her hair done. She didn't. Don't do that. That's definitely not humility. If you see someone and it looks like they're struggling, pray for them. Don't talk about it. You want to be humble. Humility. When I think of humility, I just think of a going down. I think of a surrendering to God. That's what I think about. God, I'm going to give up my will. I'm going to do what you want me to do. God, I'm going to hold my tongue. Oof, now that's some humility. Because it doesn't take anything for you to go off on social media, in person. That is nothing. That's anger. That's lack of self-control. It's nothing wrong with being angry, but it's the self-control that you need behind the anger. So humility says, God, I would say something, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to humble myself and keep my mouth closed. You know how many times you have to do that in marriage? So, you want to get married? That's great, but you're going to do a lot of surrendering, a lot of humility in marriage. Because here's the thing, ladies, maybe some men watching. You want to get married. God wants you to get married. But there may be some work He needs to do on you first before that happens. He may need to put some humility in you before that happens. Because if you're not submitting to God, how are you going to submit to your husband? And if you submit to your husband, you're not submitting to God, that's idol worship. Because you would then put your husband as the idol. God is first, point blank, period. Humility, a going down, humbling yourself, it's giving up your will, it's surrendering. Humility is serving, it's servanthood. Serve at church, serve on your job. Know your boss getting your nerves, serve. Because God has put that person in authority over you. And so you serve in humility. Don't talk back to your boss. Don't write that nasty email. Don't send that nasty I am. Don't do it. Humble yourself. That goes with self-control. That's the fruit of the Spirit. You got to work on the fruits of the Spirit. Oh, the fruits of the Spirit are not always easy. Self-control means discipline. That's one of the hardest fruits of the Spirit. So it takes self-control to humble yourself and say, I'm not going to say anything. It takes more strength to not say anything than it does to go off. Ain't nothing to go off. Curse about that ain't nothing. That's easy to do. But the holding back, restraining yourself, self control, humility. And guess what? God will be so pleased with you. That's why He has to kill our flesh. He's not trying to kill you, trying to kill the flesh. The flesh isn't saved. Your spirit man is saved. With that flesh, gossiping, cheating, stealing, cursing, that's flesh doing that. So He has to kill it. So He puts you in the waiting room to grow Him. So work on humility, going down. I base, gotta get with my will, so that I can live this higher life. That's the other thing about the waiting room. God taught me. I'm trying to give you a higher life. So the formula, waiting plus strip plus lessons equals new assignment. That's a whole nother level. Whole nother level. But until you learn the lessons, you can't come out of the waiting room. And you must have humility before you come out the waiting room. God is not going to promote you and you vain, stuck up, and you think you all that. It's not going to do it. Humility. And humility is not just being vain. It can be pride that He has to strip from you. Too prideful to ask for help. We are interdependent, not independent. As people, we should be interdependent. We need each other. In the biblical days, there were markets. You selling bread, I sell fruit, and we trade. We're interdependent. So we need each other. So I encourage you, humility. Just let Him remove what is not like Him so that you can get out the waiting room. I want you out the waiting room. Just like God. We both want you out the waiting room. So you might as well surrender to the process. Now I'm in the wait. Let me just learn these lessons. Now let me hurry up and learn them. That was me. Let me hurry up and learn these lessons so I get in this room. Because I'm tired of being in this room. See, my attitude was jacked up. I'm prolonging the wait with my attitude. So you might as well surrender to the process. Get out your iPad, tablet, learn the lessons, let them strip you so you can have a higher life, higher way of thinking. Right? A higher life. He wants what's best because He loves you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Soul Talk with Sonia on Amazon. High the press. You want to have this. You're in the waiting room. You need this. God's giving you grace for the wait that you're in. The wait is killing my flesh. Not me. He's trying to kill you. Just trying to kill the flesh. All right. Thank you so much again. Stay tuned.